Here we go, 9:07 on the Chris Hand Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Happy early Thanksgiving. We're pretty hyped. It's gonna be a fun show today. It's gonna be a fun show. Since we're not gonna be here Thursday and Friday, we're gonna move Agenda Free Friday to today. It's the first ever Agenda Free Friday on a Wednesday. So anything you want to talk about, we can talk about it. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Also, today is the 60th anniversary of the JFK assassination.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
That is nuts.
So off the air, I said to Mac, I said, it's the 60th anniversary of the JFK assassination. He said, whoa. Did you say 16? I thought it would be longer than that. Yep. That wasn't.
It was not 2008 or whatever.
Yeah,
so, nope.
No. It was like right around the time Obama got elected. JFK was assassinated. It was
a nuts time, recession, Obama. We were going through a lot as a nation.
That's what happened to the housing market. It was really reacting to. We had a good chuckle. But any theories? Any theories on the JFK assassination?
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go. 615-737-9986. Also, with it being Thanksgiving, I have to bring to the table not only our favorite holiday movies, which is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for this one, but also, Christmas songs get a lot of love. Christmas songs do. But there's only one Thanksgiving song that has any place in our heart, and it's this one. Oh, Mac, you got to give me audio, Mac. Thanks, Mac. Mac gets a pass. It's Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving miracle.
A turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat turkey in a big brown shoe. Love to eat the turkey at the table. I once saw a movie with Betty Grable. Eat that turkey all night long. 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong.
That's right.
Turkey, turkey, dee, turkey, turkey.
I love Adam Sandler, the Thanksgiving song.
He's so funny.
I hope you do too. Thanksgiving. It's a special time, you guys. So whatever you want to talk about, we could talk about 615-737-9986. Bobby wants to talk about the pause in Gaza. Bobby, you're next on the Chris Hand Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up, man?
The first thing I'd like to do, my man, is wish you brothers a happy Thanksgiving here.
Thank you,
Hope
sir. I
everything's right
appreciate
and
it.
good with your families and all that. But yeah, I'm a little. I don't know. I'm a little scared about this pause over in Israel or the Gaza Strip, because why is it taking 3 to 4 days for a pause? Why can't they just bring the so-called hostages out in one day?
It feels like
is it giving them time to regroup or what? I just want to ask your point of view on that.
Well, it'll definitely give them time to regroup. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. And it seems like all of this stuff always gets drawn out. Like, let's just pick a time, let's do it, and let's move on. I'm with you, and it's a bit frustrating. I did see a story among the terrorists expected to be swapped. One Palestinian has demanded Israel pay for her plastic surgery. This is a Palestinian prisoner. She's making Israel pay for her plastic surgery after the explosive she detonated left her with serious burns. So you're just making things blow up, and then it leaves you with serious burns, and these burns are serious. I'm not gonna lie, but then they want Israel to pay for the plastic surgery. And this woman, after injuring herself in a terror attack, it's the craziest thing. The attack happened 18 miles from Jerusalem, and it left this woman with serious burns to her face, and she wants Israel to pay for the plastic surgery. I would just say best I can do is a hijab of some sort. It's the best I'd be willing to do. I mean, and then this stuff is crazy. It's like there are actual Palestinian terrorists that are being swapped out for hostages. It's the Terrorists for Toddlers program, apparently, in Israel. That's what they're doing. It's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing. Oh, you guys are Jason on the super text line. Did you see what Jason wrote?
Oh, gosh.
Jason, you know we don't have the uncensored super text podcast up and running yet. We can't do that one yet, Jason. You got to save that stuff for another day.
Oh my gosh! Do you see Jason's text before that? He goes, "Happy Thanksgiving, guys. I'm thankful for the Eagles." Oh, that's very, very nice, Jason. Appreciate that.
People love the Eagles. I don't have the Eagles chant ready to go like I did yesterday.
I'm thankful for that. That's what I'm thankful for.
All right. Well, we can probably get it going by the next break if that's what you want to do.
No, please.
All right, please. All right, I won't. Only because you said please, and because you invoked the epic phrase of Thanksgiving miracle.
And our resident in chief told you not to. So,
who's our resident in chief? Oh yeah. Sorry, sir.
Respect your elders.
Sorry. We were making fun of Joe Biden for being old earlier. I don't have anything else to go on. I just was.
That's just what we were doing.
just making a point. But it's crazy though. It is Thanksgiving. A lot of time this year, we help out the less fortunate. We think of the less fortunate, and it happens all over these big blue cities. They do the turkey handouts. They hand out turkeys to the poor. It's nice. It is. Like I'm not knocking that. But now, low income New Yorkers who live in public housing, who expect these turkeys to come in. Every year from the government and from these charities, which is, again, I'm not knocking it. I think these are good things to happen. There's a lot of tension now because the illegal aliens are showing up for the free turkeys before low-income New Yorkers. It's causing a lot of beef. It's causing a lot of friction. And I'm not shocked about this. We often say that the illegal immigration crisis hurts those who have less first, and it's on full display now as tensions are rising in New York City between African Americans and illegal aliens as these government handouts are running out. It's a crazy story, but it's actually happening currently in this country.
One neighborhood in Queens between NYCHA tenants and newly arrived migrants.
Wow, tensions are growing with not enough food to go around.
Why do we have to take the butt of everything? Okay, this community here is already suffering.
The residents living in NYCHA's Queensbridge houses look forward to the mobile food pantries that show up weekly. But over the past year, they have witnessed 8,000 migrants move into their neighborhood, and they have also noticed the migrants are also starting to take their stuff.
They was first online for the turkeys this morning. If they tell you to be there at 11 o'clock, you get there like 10:30, 10:45, but they already out there. The line is from over there to over here.
Free food giveaways, especially during the holidays, have become a source of tension between longtime New Yorkers struggling to get by and newly arrived migrants who are using the system to survive. A month ago, one altercation got so heated between a resident and a migrant, someone ended up in the hospital.
We would never turn anyone away for a meal, but there simply just is not enough for both NYCHA residents and the migrant shelter residents.
No, there's not enough to go around. And it's causing massive tension. Can you blame anyone? I definitely feel like we need to help our American citizens first. We need to help the people in this country first. Why is it that illegal aliens are taking from those of us that we should be taking care of first? As a nation, we are going to be judged by how we treat the weakest amongst us, how we take care of the less fortunate. And we're not doing it. We're not doing a good job helping and taking care of these people that are in need this holiday season. Instead, we're letting people who break our rules to get here absolutely jump the line and take from those who that social safety net is supposed to be there for. It's crazy. It's crazy. A New Yorker said to Fox 5 in New York, "Why do we have to take the butt of everything? This community is already suffering." I'm with you. I don't think that you should have to deal with this. And meanwhile, Mayor Eric Adams in New York City says this Biden illegal immigration inflow is unfair to the taxpayers in New York City. You're absolutely right. How can anybody live in New York City right now? How? It is so unbelievably expensive. And then on top of that, you're now having your tax dollars go to illegal immigrants. You're having your police department having their budget slashed. The city's not getting safer. The city's not getting cleaner, and it's not getting any better. It's crazy. Since spring of 2022, about 140,000 border crossers and illegal aliens have arrived in New York City. Not sustainable. Not sustainable at all. And we're seeing that in all these blue cities all around the country. Chicago, New York. You're seeing it in California. The American citizen is absolutely getting the raw end of the deal, while we pay for everything for the illegal aliens. It's crazy. It's crazy. We need to take care of the American citizens first. Real quick, let's go to Lindsay in Pleasant Shade. She has a Thanksgiving, what is it? A Thanksgiving what now?
Movie.
A Thanksgiving movie recommendation. Hit me, Lindsay. What's up?
Well, technically, sir, it's an episode. And you all took my planes, trains, and automobiles.
That's the only, Lindsay, that's the only correct answer as far as Thanksgiving movies go.
It really is, thank you. But I've got South Park, I think it's season 1. It's called Starvin' Marvin.
Starvin' Marvin, yes, where they have Sally Struthers as Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, Sally Struthers was hoarding food, and
Yep.
they had to eat her, and they accidentally got the watch instead of Ethiopian, or vice versa.
Yes.
But also, they had all the turkeys with their half blue and white faces.
Yep. I
Gobble,
love it.
gobble. And then the chef was on the other side with his half blue and white face.
Yep, they were.
So that is my.
That's your go-to?
Also, I have a question about a commercial you guys had earlier.
Oh, no. Here
It
we
was
go.
right from when.
What did I do?
All right.
Am I going to be in trouble? Am I in
No,
trouble with you,
it was-
Lindsay?
It was a commercial. I want you to.
I feel like I get more grief for the
scared of me now.
commercials than I do for people calling me Canadian.
Well, this one was from Mandis. He had just finished Red Eye and started his 5 a.m. series. And it was a warning to grandparents. And apparently people are calling them up and saying one of their grandkids or relatives are in jail and that they need to come and bail them out.
Oh, yeah.
This
Is it
happened to my grandmother in
really?
Decatur, Illinois. This happened to her. God rest his soul. It must have been 5 years ago because my brother's dead now, but he had been in and out of jail plenty of times. And she got a call. She's 90-something. And they said, we want your credit card number and all your stuff to to get him out of jail. They had his name, everything.
That's crazy.
And she said, well, I don't have one. Can I come down there? They were having her about to get in her car with a bunch of cash. And God knows what would have happened to Grandma Dot.
Yeah, it's crazy. You should.
She had gone down whatever dark alley.
Yeah, you
Well,
should.
she called my dad first and said, this is what's happening. So everybody call a relative first if you're a grandparent and say, this is what's happening. Don't go out in your car with your money. No. And my brother was like in a whole different state. He wasn't in jail.
That's crazy. And these scams are getting even more sophisticated with the introduction of artificial intelligence. I appreciate the call, Lindsay, and it's a good heads up. But yeah, with artificial intelligence, I mean, they can fake a family member's voice. Be like, help, I've been kidnapped. Get a code word. That's my best advice for you. Get a code word for your family or for your kids that only you know. Like in my family, we use the word Canadian bacon. I'm just kidding. We don't actually use that. Stupid.
Yeah, I was reporting yesterday on a they're calling it the grandparent scam. But yeah, I mean, and obviously it's not the first time that grandparents have been targeted, but there's a new one that's coming up and running. They're getting more sophisticated, like you're saying with it.
Yeah, the FBI says that this grandmother scam has nabbed $1.9 million in 9 months.
Jeez. That's crazy.
Terrible.
I have a neighbor who got scammed on some gift cards. Had to, if they're asking you to get a gift card to pay them, it's red flag.
Yep.
Red flag, boys.
Yep.
And again, get a code word with your family.
Yep.
So that way, if they do use the artificial intelligence on you, you can flip the script on them. Be smarter than the computer. Get a code word. It is 9:22 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're doing Agenda Free Friday here on a Wednesday as we head into Thanksgiving. My name is Chris Hand. I'm so happy that you were here and a part of the Chris Hand Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Turkey for me and a turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in a big brown shoe.
Israel-Hamas hostage deal details. Hear the cries for help after a second home explosion in Middle Tennessee this week. And there's hint of another interest rate hike before the year's up. These stories and more at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're getting a lot of texts on the scams that people deal with. But I got a text here from 0370. He says, for $19.99, I can tell you how to avoid scams. So I asked if he takes gift cards. I want in. We were talking about, the kidnapping schemes with the artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
My dad texted me. My dad said, "You mean you haven't been kidnapped?"
That's a pretty good one.
It's hilarious.
Where does he live again?
He lives in New Hampshire.
Okay. Does he like it? He like it up there?
I don't know. I don't think anybody likes it up there. I don't think
anyone is fond of the North. Okay.
It's I mean, dude, what's the temperature up in New Hampshire right now? It's I mean, without looking, I'm sure it's freezing. Yeah, wet and cold. Everybody's angry all the time up in New England. Every day.
It is raining and cold right now. Yeah, it's raining and cold.
Nailed it.
That's hilarious.
It's not a nice place. My dad's area is nice. I'm sure my dad likes it. I probably will never move anywhere besides Tennessee.
Yeah, you're here to stay. Come on.
There's no other place. The cozy levels are off the charts.
Oh yeah,
off the charts. Oh, my dad's texting me again.
Is he defending New Hampshire?
He said 40 degrees, snow and rain.
Snow and rain.
Yeah,
wow.
He had nothing to say about nobody really liking it there.
Yeah, he didn't defend that at all.
Just let that. He left that part of the conversation out. 9:30, time for Ken Weaver's News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast in 2 minutes. And right now, the Israel-Hamas war update. A prisoner swap could start as soon as tomorrow. The White House claiming it will include some of the Americans which Hamas took in the terrorist attack back on October 7th. Right now in Tennessee, News 2 reporting on a fatal crash involving a horse in the middle of the road. This in Sumner County. The THP says 77-year-old Barry Oliver was a passenger in a car that hit the horse last night on Highway 231. 74-year-old woman driving the car was seriously injured. No information on what came of the horse other than the fact it ended up inside the car with the two people. And in Money News, Jim Ryan.
Don't look now, but there still is a possibility that interest rates could go up again before the arrival of 2024. In the minutes from their latest meeting, Federal Reserve officials suggested they could hike rates if progress to tamp down inflation was, quote, insufficient. One meeting remains on the calendar this year.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey folks, I'm Paul Winkler. One of the biggest decisions people have to make in retirement is how to take Social Security. You'll get all kinds of workshops about that, and you'll see all kinds of things about that particular topic. Because Social Security, for some people, it might be a third or even more of their income in retirement. So you want to get this decision right. Well, how do you make the decision? Well, one of the things we look at, there are programs we use. This is one of the simpler programs that we use right here. And I want to just show you how it works and how it actually unravels some of the misconceptions we have about Social Security. So we have two people here, they're age 60, and they're looking at filing for Social Security. One person has a retirement benefit of $2,500. That is their main benefit from Social Security at their full retirement age. The other one has a $500 benefit. And what we can do here, which is kind of cool, is look at this and say, okay, well, what if we have this person has that life expectancy and that person has that life expectancy there? And then what we do is we assume a certain cost of living increase in Social Security. What would be the optimal for taking the benefit where they get the most benefit or the most bang from their buck? And where we see the star, that shows that we would have the best benefit. Now, this is one person filing at age 67, the other person at age 70. Well, a lot of people think, well, I retire, I have to take Social Security at the same time that I retire, and that's not necessarily the case. As you can see here, one may take it at one age and one may take it at another, even though they're the same age right now. Now, the other thing we can do is say, well, what if I took it early? What if I took it at this particular age right here, where one person's 65 and the other one's 65? You can actually see how much it could cost in benefits. When we do this, we can see how much it might cost us and how much it might affect us negatively to do that. Now, the other thing we can do is we can play around the life expectancies, and we say, well, if this person lives to that age, now the cost is $187,000 in this particular example, taking it at that age right there. So you can see, based on your own life expectancy, and typically people will say, well, what did my parents live to, and come up with that type of data. So this is just part of the financial planning process that we use at Paul Winkler Inc. If you want to know more about what we do, you can get a free 15-minute phone call at our website, paulwinkler.com. We do financial planning, full financial planning. We do investing education and investing. We actually help people through those decisions, helping them set up their 401ks and those types of decisions, as well as risk management. But we don't get paid on commission. That's what makes us so different from other firms out there that do what we do. So if you want to find out more, go to paulwinkler.com.
Thanksgiving is a special night. Jimmy Walker used to say dynamite. That's right. Turkey with the gravy and the cranberry. Can't believe the Mets traded down a strawberry. Turkey for you and a turkey for me. Can't believe Tyson gave the girl BD.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris And. Welcome to the Chris And Show. Little Adam Sandler and the Thanksgiving song for you.
So good.
Dude, he's so good. You know, the SNL episodes used to be so money with their Thanksgiving stuff. SNL used to be great. I wish they could make SNL great again. I mean, back in the day when they had Phil Hartman, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, the classics. They would have banger Thanksgiving episodes. I want to know what kind of Thanksgiving shows you like. There's no Thanksgiving movies. There's only,
really not.
There's only one. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
And
Have you seen it?
I'm like Dan on this.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it. I need to. I gotta make that happen this weekend. Chris is so disappointed in me right now. If you're not watching Super Talk TV,
I can't believe you would not watch it.
Is that the look that you give your kids when it's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed? That's when
they
hurts.
know. Like,
it hurts.
It's like they're in trouble. They're in trouble. But.
No, I gotta see it. Yes. I know it's a classic.
Can
it's a classic.
Can you do it this weekend?
Make that happen? Yes.
Like, I don't know why. I feel like I shouldn't be the one that has to have this conversation with you.
No, you're right. I should make that happen. I'll do it with the fam. We'll make it a whole fam thing.
All right. You threw me off. I don't know why you wouldn't see the movie.
I'm so sorry. As I was driving in hearing y'all talk about the Amigos, I was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to bring it up to Chris. He's gonna be sad.
I'm not disappointed. I'm just disappointed.
Just
disappointed. Also, we were talking about my dad has been texting me all morning.
Oh, yes.
He wants to defend New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. He's actually ready to come with a defense now. Before
he has a defense of New Hampshire.
Okay.
And I feel like I should just bring it up. Because I don't really like New England. Anyway, his defense of New Hampshire is that it's not Massachusetts. So, I'll give you that, Dad. I'll give you that. Thanks for listening. My dad is actually listening on the TuneIn app. You can stream us wherever you go.
It's great.
You can take WTN with you everywhere, whether you're listening on the TuneIn app or whatever streaming app you use. Podcasts are available on the website, 997WTN.com, or you can watch us on Super Talk TV, where you'll be able to see my disappointment for Mac. There's one thing to hear the disappointment in my voice.
Of course. Oh, it's so different to see it.
There's another thing to see the disappointment.
It's so hard.
But as we go into Thanksgiving, what Thanksgiving shows do you like? I'm a home improvement kind of guy. Tim Allen to me. It just feels like fall when the Thanksgiving and the Christmas episodes 100%. Of Home Improvement come on.
Yes, I love Tim Allen.
Yeah, he's money.
Total G.
Other than narking out that one guy over the Coke stuff back in the day.
I don't know about that.
You didn't know about that?
I will now be doing a little rabbit hole.
Fact check it, Mac. Tim Allen. Word on the street for many, many years was that Tim Allen got busted with a bunch of Coke and then narked on his boys.
Oh, wow. He's got a mugshot and everything.
He's got the whole nine.
Man, he was a cool looking guy. I gotta give it. I'm sorry.
I love you just looking at his mugshot like, yo, Tim Allen used to be pretty cool.
I was rad.
He was.
Oh man,
he was pretty legit.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, yes. There are definitely these. Yeah. Yep.
There's allegations.
Oh, for sure.
It wasn't like a Hunter Biden baggie at the White House amount of Coke either. It was a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking for an amount here, but yeah, I'll have to do some reading.
Yeah, fact check it, Mac. In the meantime, let's go to Stan in Nashville. Stan, you're next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up, Stan?
Hey, I recently saw the funniest thing I've ever saw, and it happens to be a Thanksgiving show. It's been around for a little bit. Are you familiar with the Cleveland Show?
Yes, that's the Family Guy spinoff.
Yeah, they've got a Thanksgiving episode, and that episode, I've never laughed so hard in my whole life. You remember back in the 90s, Martin Lawrence did a movie called Big Mama's House?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's just say there's a character like that comes over for Thanksgiving, and Cleveland's dad, kind of is fooled by it. So that's what the basis of it is, and it is the funniest thing I've ever saw. It's the Cleveland Brown Thanksgiving episode.
All right, I'll definitely check it out, Stan. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Also, Big Mama's House, criminally underrated.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
Criminally underrated. I mean, sure, he ripped off the whole Eddie Murphy Nutty Professor thing.
Yeah, so what? Made it work.
It was pretty good.
It's great.
All right. Have you fact checked Tim Allen a little bit more?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't gotten to do a whole lot here, but yeah. I mean, also, yeah, some really just some sad stuff in his life in general. I mean, his dad passed away when he was at a very young age from a car accident. Yeah, but he's got some story where he was supposed to receive some money for a risk that he took in these, alleged drug trafficking charges. He faced a prison sentence of up to 3 to 7 years. He ended up just serving 2 years and 4 months. He helped authorities indict 20 people in the drug trade and resulted in the conviction and sentencing of 4 major drug dealers. Snitches get stitches.
Whoa. I wasn't going to go that far.
Just kidding. Also, to change the subject now, stands.
Radio segue. All right, let's hear it.
The Cleveland Show, that's episode 7 of Brown Thanksgiving.
All right, cool. Can you put the snitches get stitches in the promo? That way it'll run for 4 days. I got a text here from 6447 said, "Oh, come on now. Leave Tim alone. You don't say any of the bad things about Adam Sandler." Is there anything bad about Adam Sandler?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see.
Fact check it, Mac. We are equal opportunity with bashing 90s comedians. I promise you, 6447. But we are happy to call out Adam Sandler as well. We got a text here from 2285 said, "Thug Life, Mac."
Gang. Adams, he's got
He said gang.
He's got a racial controversy of making some jokes that offended some people and they walked off the set. That's the first thing I find.
Oh no. My jokes hurt people's feelings. I don't know. Is that the only controversy? I mean, Tim Allen gets 20 people indicted and Adam Sandler told a mean joke once. I don't know.
He's got some leaked emails, it looks like. So him and Hillary Clinton are buddies. I don't know.
I'm out.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I have to read more about this email stuff. But no, off the top, it doesn't seem like anything of Tim Allen's ilk. But we'll see.
All right.
Everyone's done one thing. Come on. It just depends on what the one thing is.
Gang. All right.
Gang.
Super dope. All right, what shows you? I did see a list. It was that people on MSN are rating these shows from classic to cringe. And it was 30 TV shows that have aged terribly. And do you know they have Home Improvement up there?
Oh, really?
I feel like it's aged beautifully.
I mean, is it that? I mean, I guess, when was Home Improvement? Is that old?
Dude, it's old.
Really?
Yeah,
I guess
like
I just
early
don't think
90s.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, that's crazy. I think about that like early 2000s. Yeah, 1991 is when it started. Dang.
They have some other shows on this list that's like, they have Scrubs up there. It said it used to be a classic. Now it's cringe.
What?
Well, it's because they're all so sensitive over on the MSN.com.
Gotcha. I was going to say, that's...
And literally half of these shows are like, we can't make those jokes anymore, so it's cringy.
No, come on.
Yeah. The Thanksgiving Miracle. I'm not going to listen to MSN.
So that means they think The Office would be cringe, probably.
Oh, dude, The Office could never get made now.
No way.
No, but they also have Friends on the list. That's pretty cringy.
Yeah, Friends
is Friends cringy?
Yeah, Friends is a little cringe.
They have Hercules with Kevin Sorbo.
Don't know that one.
You don't know Hercules?
Don't know that one.
Bro.
I missed out on that one.
It was like, it would be on back-to-back with Xena Warrior Princess.
Okay, yeah, see, I missed that too.
You know... How old are you?
See, I was at the end of the 90s. I only got some of this 90s stuff.
I don't know how you missed Hercules, though.
The Legendary Journeys, Hercules. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I do remember this a little bit. Yeah, I've seen a couple of these.
I mean, this list, though, of cringe to from classics to cringe, it also has All in the Family on the list. Like, it's literally a list of TV shows. They're like, we're too sensitive now. We can't do it. They don't have Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving on the list. I'm surprised that we don't have a slew of articles about how Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving is now problematic because it doesn't deal with the realities of colonizer history.
That's a classic. I don't care what you say.
Apple TV bought the rights to it. If you want to watch Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, it's not going to be on network TV there. It's on, is it Apple Plus? Is that what they call it now?
Yeah, everyone's changing their names.
Dude, and does anybody use Apple Plus?
I had it. My dad has it, and I logged in for when Ted Lasso was a thing.
Who?
Ted Lasso?
What's Ted Lasso?
What?
What's Ted Lasso?
Jason Sudeikis, Ted Lasso, soccer coach. He was. It's a fantastic show. Very heartwarming. It is. I actually think you might like it.
Is it on this list of cringy? Oh, I got a text here that says I need to cut poor Max some slack. What? No, don't bingo that. Don't you bingo that. Don't you bingo that.
I've got the bingo power. 2285 says Mac needs to watch Xena so he can finally go through puberty.
Oh. You're not going to bingo that one? Somebody says cringy shows Walker, Texas Ranger, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Saved by the Bell.
Oh, Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell was money.
Yeah, that was great.
What was the chick's name that did the uppers on that one episode and got like all spazzed out because of drugs? You remember that one?
Yeah, Jesse's.
Yeah,
the one that ended up.
Yeah, the one that ended up in Showgirls.
Yeah.
She was like doing caffeine pills on Saved by the Bell. She's like, I'm doing fine.
I'm okay.
7662 texted in and said, Ted Lasso made me like soccer, and I'm not sure how to feel about that.
For real.
All right, so I'm definitely not watching that.
No, you will like it. You will give it a chance.
No, if it's going to trick me into liking soccer, I'm out.
Oh, this one, 8255. Chris, you have to watch Monarch, Legacy of the Monsters. It's only on Apple Plus. Got to watch it.
Monarch,
Legacy of the Monsters.
Is it? Have you seen it?
No, I don't. I don't know about this. This is.
Hold on. I'm basically gonna judge the book by the cover. Once I see the cover art, I will tell you if I'm gonna watch it or not. Yeah, I'm probably gonna pass.
Yeah, I mean the cover art would make me pass too. That Godzilla type thing going on. I'm good.
Just going full judging a book by its cover. I would pass. However, it's got a 3.4 in the ratings. That's like too middle of the pack for me.
Yeah, it's pretty middle of the pack.
I either need something to be rated very awful for me to watch it, or very good,
or amazing. Yeah. I do like Kurt Russell though.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell's in it.
Isn't was Kurt Russell the one on South Park where he did Fighting Around the World?
Oh, I don't know. I think he was though.
I think that was Kurt Russell's Fighting Around the World.
I guess his son is in it as well, Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt, the more famous of the Russells. said no one. Said no one. We got all sorts of cringy TV shows.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, everybody has an idea on cringy. Dinosaurs, the TV show. Did you watch Dinosaurs?
I think I have seen a few episodes of this one.
You are the fakest 90s kid.
I mean, come on. I was at the tail end.
Oh, and it wasn't Kurt Russell Fighting Around the World. It was Russell Crowe. That's
Russell
right.
Crowe.
Thank you, 7967. I didn't mean to besmirch Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I know Dinosaurs. Yes.
Yep. All right. Well, we got more to talk about. It's an agenda-free Friday on a Wednesday as we head into Thanksgiving. We're having some light fun here on the Chris Hand Show. Thank you. Everybody's texting. It's Russell Crowe Fighting Around the World. Excellent episode, by the way. But I'm not good with names. Kurt Russell, Russell Crowe, whatever. What did I say the other day? Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen.
Oh yeah.
Whoops. My bad. 9:52. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand for my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. As the rain is coming down, go check out your crawl space. If you haven't been down there in a while, now is the time to do it, because with the rain, you may see some standing water in your crawl space. If you see standing water, well, you need to call USS. A couple other warning signs: wet basement walls, cracks in your basement floors. Those those signs is your house trying to tell you something. If your house is trying to tell you something, you should listen and give the guys at USS a call to come look at it because they are fluent in house. The number is 615-488-7855. They've been doing it since the early 90s. They have 25,000 satisfied customers in Middle Tennessee, and they can help you with anything from foundation repair to sinkhole repair, basement wall realignment to crawl space encapsulation, and everything in between. The guys at USS have seen it all and done it all, and you will be satisfied with the work that they do. They'll come in and make a custom plan for your house and fix whatever is ailing it. 615-488-7855 or online, USSTN.com.
Right now in Murfreesboro, an officer-involved shooting. We'll tell you about it at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, geez. Prayers go out to him. Thank you for the update, Ken Weaver. Looking forward to that newscast. I've gotten dozens of texts of people reminding me that it was not Kurt Russell fighting around the world. It was Russell Crowe on the South Park episode. And I found the theme song from Russell Crowe's Fighting Around the World. Mac, pull that audio down for 1 second.
Born in New Zealand in 1604, a hot-headed actor named Russell Crowe. He loves to act, but he loves one thing more: fight round the world. He fights his directors and he fights his fans. It's a problem no one understands. If there's two things he loves, it's fighting and fighting round the world. Making movies, making music, and fighting round the world. Russell Crowe.
If you haven't seen that one, I suggest that you watch it over your Thanksgiving break. It is now 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The latest from Ken Weaver happens now.
Ten o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Right now in Murfreesboro, investigation underway after an officer-involved shooting. Police say a man robbed an armored truck at an ATM on Thompson Lane and then ran inside Jason's Deli. An officer shot the man. Police did not release his condition. Employees at Jason's Deli are safe, and TBI has been called in to investigate. Israel-Hamas war. Karen Travers at the White House.
President Biden's National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says he's hopeful that the deal reached to secure the release of hostages will hold, telling ABC's Good Morning America.
You can never have full confidence until you actually see hostages back in the arms of their families. But I am very hopeful that there will be a pause. These hostages will begin to be released.
Sullivan said the key to reaching this deal between Hamas and Israel was getting both sides to, quote, get specific, to say how many hostages and Palestinian prisoners will be released and how many days the fighting will be paused.
Here in America, the passion surrounding the war now prompting tighter security at big holiday events. In Nashville, Metro Police announcing what they call an enhanced visible presence in support of retailers and protecting the public. They're going to be on foot, in cars, on horseback, and in the air, looking for suspicious activity, specifically around places like Tanger Outlets, Nashville West Shopping Center, Opry Mills Mall, and Green Hills Mall. And with Black Friday upon us, retailers rolling out the deep discounts. In the toy aisle of a Chicago Target store, along with her two kids, Erlena Delaney explains how she got there.
I came in here for Starbucks. That was it. But then we ended up back here in the toy aisle. So here we are.
Yeah, that'll happen with kids. Forbes says Americans are expected to spend an average of $500 to $67 during the Black Friday to Cyber Monday shopping events, which would be an increase of 13% from last year. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, folks, I'm Paul Winkler.
10:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's going on? It's Chris Hand. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Do they still call this the biggest party night of the year? I don't do the partying anymore, but it used to be like a big deal, right?
Really? I mean, yeah, I've never heard it called the biggest party night. That's interesting, but it is a huge party night. I mean,
and everybody's going home.
Everyone's going home, so you're going to the
friends
old high school buddies, and now you're at the bar, and you're saying, "Oh my gosh, I remember you. How's it been?" Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah. I'm going to avoid that at all costs.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Mine usually goes, "Oh my gosh, I remember you." Yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, I remember.
Still not impressed.
This is still not fond.
Still not a fan, but it's a big night, and we're dealing with family over these next couple days, and I'm sure that a lot of people have that one relative. You know which one I'm talking about, the one with the not my president haircut. That's the one who does the screeching about indigenous people. Do you have any of those stories? The Thanksgiving blow-ups? Do you have any red pills that you serve on Thanksgiving? Yeah, you know that family member. We all know that family member. But if you have a funny story about that family member at Thanksgiving, feel free to call in and tell us, 615-737-9986. I feel like it's getting easier to be conservative over Thanksgiving because the Democrats are ruining the country. So, you know,
you just be like, "Yo, how much was that turkey?"
Yes. Yo, how much was your gas to get here? Turkey's expensive.
See, most people would avoid religion, politics at all costs. But I feel like you are the other side.
Way on the
You're
other
veering towards. You're like, come on.
I'm the guy that's like, yeah, I would love to talk about religion and politics. I would.
Oh, yes. Next year's presidential election? Yeah, let's discuss.
Totally. Let's dive in. I really would like to hyper-focus on the areas that you're wrong. That's what I do. But everybody has those stories, right? Again, maybe it's a little bit better now that, your liberal relatives aren't just screaming Orange Man bad from the top of their lungs because, Trump has been right and Joe Biden's been wrong. So thanks, Jake Tapper. Thanks.
Jake knows.
It's the soundbite that keeps giving back. But I would love to hear your stories. Also, we're doing Agenda Free Friday today as we head into the long weekend. We're trying to have a little bit of fun here. Who's not having fun are the people that are affected first by the illegal aliens that are pouring over our border, which is the most poor among us. In New York City, there are local residents who are upset that they're not getting free turkeys for Thanksgiving because the illegal aliens are in line first. We knew this would happen, that the illegal immigration would impact low-income Americans before anybody else, be it competing for jobs or, as we're seeing now, competing for free turkeys. It's sad. I think we need to take care of Americans first. Fox News had a panel of potential voters yesterday, and I thought these potential voters were interesting. They had a conservative woman by the name of Madeleine Brame, who's a Republican in New York, African-American lady, who says she's running for Congress. I don't know how serious of a candidate she is, but that's what they had on the chyron, the little ticker down below, that she's a congressional candidate. But as you know, there are a lot of people who can claim to be a candidate, but they're not really a player. So I don't know if she is like an actual candidate. But then they also have an independent voter that sounds like a Democrat, and a lady that's an actual Democrat, but sounds like she's coming around. So they have these three voters on a panel, and what they have to say is so interesting. Let's start with Madeleine Brame, the African-American woman who is running for Congress in New York. She highlights the fact that the African-American voter is waking up to the dangers of the Democrat Party. It's on full display, especially as we go over the holiday weekend. Full display that the government in power right now cares more about illegal aliens than they do about Americans. This is Madeleine Brame, a Republican congressional candidate, on a Fox News panel of voters.
Pike that are going to affect the brown and black community, just like the illegals that are being pushed into these communities, sucking up the resources from the longtime residents that live there. All right, taxpayers poor taxpayers are now going to have to foot the bill for these people, and we can't even afford to pay our own rent. All right. Now we have tax coming down to programs and different things that are going to be cut directly from our community.
I really like this lady. She's a firecracker. And she's drilling home some major points. We're already poor, and you're taking our tax dollars for illegal aliens. We're already dealing with all these issues, and you're prioritizing illegal aliens.
To pay for illegals, all right? There's a problem with that. There's a huge problem with it. And, you know,
Amen.
Minorities may be silent as far as being vocal, but I believe that, you know, in 24, this new election, the next cycle, we're going to see a overwhelmingly amount of people that we have not seen in 30 years come out to vote. All right, people are being educated on the voter registration piece, how to change their party affiliation, question number 14 on their voter registration form, and people are walking away from the plantation of the Democratic Party once and for all.
Throw in some flames. I love it. I love it. But she's absolutely right. It's on full display that the government cares more about illegal aliens than they do about low-income Americans. And again, it's not just Black Americans. It's poor Americans in general. They're prioritizing giving your resources to illegal aliens. That's what they're doing. That's what the government is doing. It's crazy. It's crazy. There was another voter on the panel, this woman named Eliza. She claims to be an independent voter. But I don't know about you. I feel like nowadays when anybody says, I'm an independent, you're probably just a Democrat that doesn't want to be made fun of. Is that fair? It feels like that to me.
Eliza, the Democrats, as an independent voter, you probably see this, they target different groups. It doesn't look like the targeting of minorities, young voters, is working for them. Could you see yourself giving the Democrats a shot this election?
I really am focused right now on the security of this country, and which I do think is tied directly to the security in Israel, the only democratic state in the Middle East. So for me, my issues, which are normally, abortion and rights and equality for everyone, right now I am a single issue voter.
A single issue voter, this independent woman that claims to be an independent. She's a single issue voter. And her single issue is Israel versus Hamas. That's the single issue? That seems a little off to me. To me, she seems like a liberal current thinger, meaning she's going to, whatever is the current thing, that's going to be her single issue. Currently, the current thing is Israel versus Hamas, but she says abortion and equal rights, those are usually my things. But currently, the TV is not telling me to care about that. So I'm a single issue voter depending on what the TV tells me. This woman, they claim that she's an independent voter, but she seems like a liberal current thinger. Also, is it okay to be a single issue voter on Israel versus Hamas? Is that really the single issue voter, the hill to die on? In 2023, does it even make sense to be a single issue voter? I'll be honest with you. Republicans or Democrats, they're both going to disappoint you. Why would you be a single issue voter on any issue? It doesn't make sense to me. Can anybody make that make sense? 615-737-9986. I think we all can agree that getting hostages back is a priority. Israel has the right to defend itself. And I think also a lot of us can agree the U.S. is funding both sides of this war. They're funding Hamas by giving money to Iran. They're funding Israel. They're funding both sides of the conflict. And that's going to be your single issue you're voting on? Garbage. Even if you end up voting the conservative route because you feel like a nominee like Trump would provide more security and peace in the Middle East, Why would that be your single issue voter? Like, why would that be your single issue? It blows my mind that that's the single issue. Maybe there's a good reason for it. I get that they're the only, quote unquote democracy in the Middle East. I get that they're an ally. But that's your single issue? Like, wouldn't it be odd if somebody said, right now I'm a single issue voter, and really it's about the security of Ukraine? It's like, what? It's weird. How can a foreign conflict between two countries, well, not two countries, a territory in a country, be your single issue? The conflict, quite literally, we shouldn't be involved in it. I don't know how that could be your single issue. Crazy to me. Keith says he's a single issue voter on the text line. He says he's just going to vote for someone who loves America. I can get behind that. I can get behind that as a single issue voter. I can. The next lady on this voter panel, she just sounds like a Democrat. But I will say this. She sounds like a Democrat that's coming around. She sounds like a Democrat that's waking up to what's happening around her.
Speaking of abortion, Stephanie, it looks like the Democrats are going to double down on that being the main issue. And they've gotten some great success from it in the past elections, especially the midterms. Mm-hmm. Do you think that issue alone is going to be enough for the Democrats to reelect Joe Biden?
Look, if you ask me on a personal level how I vote on abortion, I am pro-choice 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. However, to me, it's a secondary issue right now. First, we have to make sure that America is around for the next 4 years.
Wow. She says she's pro-choice every time on the issue of abortion. But for me right now, that's a secondary issue. We need to worry about America being around in 4 years. Again, she sounds like a Democrat, but she sounds like a Democrat that's waking up. She doesn't sound like the last lady who said she was an independent, but really sounded like a liberal current thinger and is only going to pay attention to whatever the TV says is the current thing. This woman, while we can disagree with her take on abortion and being pro-choice, at least she realizes the absolute trouble that's facing this country. At least she realizes that debating about abortion being legal or not is first world problems. And right now, our border is wide open and we're letting the third world in. And the security of the nation needs to come first. To that, I completely agree. I completely agree. I think the border is the main issue. The border needs to be fixed before we can get to fixing anything else.
And not turned into another country that's part of the Middle East. I mean, I'm serious. This is a real threat to democracy. We're seeing it unravel in front of our own eyes, and we're not doing anything to combat it. So I can wait and talk about abortion later. But I also want to point out that for the first time, abortion rates were reduced under President Biden. Mm-hmm. That was not under a Republican leader. So I think it's totally irrelevant who our president is.
Well, she can say that. I will say the reason Roe v. Wade got overturned was because Trump put in conservative Supreme Court justices. And for that, sir, we thank you. But I do want to give this liberal some credit for actually having her eyes open enough to realize that abortion isn't the main issue right now. The main issue is saving the country. That's the issue. We can't, it's like, what's the Jordan Peterson thing? You can't change the world until you clean your room. Like, if you have a messy room, you're not going to change the world. Okay. We aren't going to be able to change the world unless we are secure as America. We can't go fix the entire world's problems. We can't debate about secondary issues until we are secure as a country. And we're not. We're not. The border is wide open. Wide open. Illegal aliens are overrunning all of our major blue cities. And we need to get back to a place where we are safe and secure at the border. That's what we need to do. Luckily, conservatives see the importance in this issue. There's a guy running for, what's he running for? He's running for Senate. He's a Senate Republican candidate in Ohio, Bernie Moreno. He's basically campaigning on the southern border, and that's a winning strategy.
We love Ohio and we love Bernie Moreno.
Bernie Moreno puts America first and will secure our southern border.
We have a completely wide open border where you have drugs and human trafficking streaming through our southern border. The first thing we have to do is we have to finish the wall and then allow the U.S. military to wipe the Mexican drug cartels off the face of the earth. We need to put America first and make that happen.
We love Ohio and we love Bernie Moreno.
Conservative outsider Bernie Moreno for Senate.
I'm Bernie Moreno, and I approve this message.
I mean, even in Ohio, guys like Bernie Moreno see that the winning strategy for America in general, securing the southern border. That's the only thing that matters right now. Until we can get that handled, everything else is just secondary. Like 100%. That's what I want. That put that at the top of my Christmas list. Secure the border.
Updated.
Perfect. Cozy socks are number 2.
Gotcha. Yep, of course.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure you didn't push those too far down the list. It's 10:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're doing an agenda-free Friday on this Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Anything you want to talk about? Any stories that we've missed this week? Feel free to call, chime in, add to the conversation. 615-737-9986. It is 10:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Active investigation in Murfreesboro, where there has been an officer-involved shooting. Details coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're having some conversation as we head into Thanksgiving. I played a panel of voters that Fox News had on. We had a conservative woman, African-American lady who's running for Congress in New York, talking about how black voters are seeing what the Democrats are doing, and they're out. We had an independent voter on that panel who just really sounded like a Democrat that didn't want to be made fun of, talking about how she supports current thing. And I feel like it doesn't matter what current thing, that's what she would support. And then the next lady was a liberal, but she sounded like one that was coming around. But the Democrat, the liberal that sounds like she's coming around, said usually she's pro-choice all the way, but right now she feels like the abortion conversation needs to take a back seat because we need to focus on securing our country. And I tend to agree. Not that I think the abortion conversation should take a back seat, but that the priority should be securing the border and securing our country. We got Adam in Columbia on line one. He's got a comment on abortion. Adam, you're next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up?
Hey, Chris, good morning. I've heard a lot of discussion about the abortion topic, and as far as looking at it from a scientific standpoint, you get the argument a lot of we're not supposed to say what a woman is supposed to do with her body. Okay, I agree with that. So if a woman takes her liver out and sets it on a table, of course she's going to die, but that liver will die as well. It has no potential to continue on living. However, you replace liver with baby, that baby has potential for life. That baby has potential to be something different from the mother. So in my opinion, that argument just does not hold water. So I absolutely hate hearing people say, don't tell a woman to make a decision with how to make decisions with their body. But at the same time, somebody is losing their life.
Yeah, no, and there's a couple things like if somebody kills a pregnant woman, he's charged for murder twice. These arguments don't hold water. Liberals will tell you, my body, my choice. Now take this vaccine that we're mandating, you bigot, or you're anti-science. It's only they only use these arguments when it's convenient for them.
Yes, and he said vaccine. I actually took the vaccine, and I regret every second of it. I've never had any issues from the vaccine. However, it was pushed on me by my work. I will not say that they forced me, but they were very, very much so pushing me. I got it just to shut them up. But that was the dumbest thing.
Well, it was persuasion basically via threats, right? It's almost like you would have lost your gig or you would have been passed over for a promotion or the like if you didn't take it.
Or take a test every day. You got to wear a mask everywhere you go and not be able to breathe. The American society as a whole has turned into a bunch of stupid sheeple that listen to whatever the mainstream media throws their way.
Amen. Well, it's like this the voter on the panel that I played. She just whatever the TV tells me is current thing is my single issue vote. Like, how are you going to say you're a single issue voter and your single issue is Israel versus Hamas? Like, it just doesn't make sense. You're just listening to what the TV tells you is important.
Absolutely. It's so scary, and that just shows how much power that the media has and just how evil and corrupt they are. And I don't know the answer. I don't know what to do unless just the American people just starts to ignore them. I mean, it's starting to be a real crap show.
Well, I think the one thing that we can do, and I think that on that panel of voters, there was a voter by the name of Elisa, and she says she's an independent voter, but I think she said that because she's a Democrat that doesn't want to be made fun of. And I think that really the main point that we can do is mock them. I think we can mock them relentlessly because I don't think at the end of the day they want to be viewed as losers or wrong. They don't want to be made fun of, and I think that is a powerful weapon in our arsenal.
I agree. If Joe Biden were Republican, there's no way I'd tell people in public that I'm a Republican. I mean, that's just It's hard enough being a Tennessee fan and telling people that.
That's just science. That's science. Follow the science.
Right.
Hey, I appreciate your call, Adam. Thanks so much for adding to the conversation. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Cedric and Frank, I see you guys on hold. We'll get to your calls next, but right now, Ken Weaver in the news on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 2 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, TBI is investigating after an officer-involved shooting in Murfreesboro. Police say a man held up an armored truck at an ATM on North Thompson Lane this morning. That man ran into the Jason's Deli nearby. The man was shot by an officer. Police say all of the employees are safe. Israel-Hamas war update. A prisoner swap could start as soon as tomorrow. The White House claims it will include some of the Americans which Hamas took in the terrorist attack on October 7th. And in money news, Jim Ryan says Americans are racking up purchases before Black Friday.
Despite a challenging economy, the holiday shopping season is off to a fairly strong start. Adobe Analytics says record consumer spending online in the last day and a half is being driven by deep discounts in categories like electronics, toys, and apparel.
That is the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey folks, I'm Paul Winkler. One of the biggest decisions people have to make in retirement is how to take Social Security. You'll get all kinds of workshops about that, and you'll see all kinds of things about that particular topic. Because Social Security, for some people, it might be a third or even more of their income in retirement. So you want to get this decision right. Well, how do you make the decision? Well, one of the things we look at, there are programs we use. This is one of the simpler programs that we use right here. And I want to just show you how it works and how it actually unravels some of the misconceptions we have about Social Security. So we have two people here, they're age 60, and they're looking at filing for Social Security. One person has a retirement benefit of $2,500. That is their main benefit from Social Security at their full retirement age. The other one has a $500 benefit. And what we can do here, which is kind of cool, is look at this and say, okay, well, what if we have this person has that life expectancy and that person has that life expectancy there? And then what we do is we assume a certain cost of living increase in Social Security. What would be the optimal for taking the benefit where they get the most benefit or the most bang from their buck? And where we see the star, that shows that we would have the best benefit. Now, this is one person filing at age 67, the other person at age 70. Well, a lot of people think, well, I retire, I have to take Social Security at the same time that I retire, and that's not necessarily the case. As you can see here, one may take it at one age and one may take it at another, even though they're the same age right now. Now, the other thing we can do is say, well, what if I took it early? What if I took it at this particular age right here, where one person's 65 and the other one's 65? You can actually see how much it could cost in benefits. When we do this, we can see how much it might cost us and how much it might affect us negatively to do that. Now, the other thing we can do is we can play around the life expectancies, and we say, well, if this person lives to that age, now the cost is $187,000 in this particular example, taking it at that age right there. So you can see, based on your own life expectancy, and typically people will say, well, what did my parents live to, and come up with that type of data. So this is just part of the financial planning process that we use at Paul Winkler Inc. If you want to know more about what we do, you can get a free 15-minute phone call at our website, paulwinkler.com. We do financial planning, full financial planning. We do investing, education, and investing. We actually help people through those decisions, helping them set up their 401ks and those types of decisions, as well as risk management. But we don't get paid on commission. That's what makes us so different from other firms out there that do what we do. So if you want to find out more, go to paulwinkler.com.
Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at Paul Winkler Inc. Now, I got 4 wonderful kids. My wife and I, we knew we needed to come up with a financial plan for them for the future, but we didn't have one. Luckily, we linked up with Paul and his team, and we have one now. And because Paul and his team hold themselves to a higher level of fiduciary standard than is required, I have to tell you I'm paid every time this commercial airs. That's the truth. That's not why I decided to become a client, though. I decided to become a client because Paul's big mission is education. And the investment education that they provide to me, first, they provide it in a way that I can understand. And second, it's backed by Nobel Prize-winning research. Another thing I love about these guys, nothing is done on commission. So you can be sure when they tell you a financial decision for you and your family, it is for you and your family. And there's no hidden incentives for the person helping you with your financial plan because nothing is done on commission. If you don't have a financial plan, you should get one. And the guys to get one with is Paul Winkler and Paul Winkler Inc. Every office run by a degreed planner with over 20 years of experience, and you can feel the difference between Paul's team and the rest because of that experience. So do what I did. Talk to a team member today. Set up a complimentary 15-minute phone call right on his website, paulwinkler.com. That's paulwinkler.com, or call 615-851-1950.
Turkey for me and a turkey for you. Let's feed the turkey in a big brown shoe. Turkey needs me and turkey needs ducking. Love to eat the turkey with a lot of stuffing. Turkey and sweet potato pie. Sammy Davis Jr. only had one eye.
It is 10:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. I think that's is that the only Thanksgiving song there is? It's the only one that counts.
That's it. Yeah, that's the only one that matters.
It's the only one that matters. Adam Sandler, little Thanksgiving song. We're having an agenda-free Friday here, the day before Thanksgiving. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. I got a couple people on the line. Let's go to Cedric in Kentucky. He wants to talk abortion. Cedric, you're next on Super Talk. What's going on, man?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Chris?
Good. How are you, sir?
Good, good. I just had a question. As a man of faith myself, for more than 40 years, and actually studied the scripture for longer than that, just wanted to see your take on. I know the abortion issue. I am fully not for that 100% biblically, and it speaks to that. But I just wanted to listen to your take on the issue of rape or incest. How would you deal with that type of situation with a woman carrying a child in that type of situation?
I mean, it's tough. Like, would I fault a 13-year-old who had been raped for wanting an abortion? Like, no, I wouldn't. I think if you're dealing with it just completely biblically, then we should keep that child alive because that child didn't do anything wrong. But if I'm dealing with it from like a common sense point, or if I'm thinking about my daughter and if something like that happened to her, I get that there's some gray area there. Where I think there's no gray area is these up till birth abortions that they're basically legalizing. And I think that at any point when a baby's viable, you shouldn't do an abortion. That's just evil. I'm against abortion across the panel. But again, I don't know. I'm kind of with you. It's like biblically, yes, I understand what you're saying is wrong. I understand it's evil. And then the dad in me says, well, if something happened to my daughter and she was raped, do I want her to have to carry that baby for 9 months? I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say I get that that there's nuance and that there's not an easy answer to this conversation.
Well, my daughter was asked. My daughters were asking me about that. I have daughters myself, and I was trying to explain to them that even biblically and just even my own simple thoughts that I'm like you on that direction. If a situation occurred, if it were possible to go ahead and possibly carry the child through, and I know that it would be a mental situation, or they would be put in a mental state if they had to continue to keep it. But if nothing else, to carry the child through and put it up for adoption to where they could go to a family instead of taking its life. Now that was my look on that. But
I think that that's the move, and that would be what I would support. But again, I'm not gonna. It's hard for me to be like, I think there's a big difference between somebody aborting a baby at 9 months and if there was a case with incest or rape. There is nuance to that conversation, and I don't want to fault. You know what I mean? It's like it's tough. It's tough. It's you.
Yes.
I wanna like lean on my principles, but I also am human, and I understand that there are situations that are difficult. I do. Hey, I appreciate the call, Cedric. Thank you so much, man. Let's go to Frank. You're up next. Also has a comment on abortion. What's up, Frank?
Hey, I'll make this as short as I can. It's a no-win argument. I've heard them around that. Found that out a long time ago. It's something I don't discuss with folks because they shouldn't get awfully upset about it. But my comment is one of the main arguments, and I don't disagree with it, is that woman says, the ladies say, the women say, it's our bodies and we have a right to do what we want to with it. I don't disagree with that, but it needs to be carried a little bit further. If they're in agreement with that, they should be in agreement with prostitution. It's their body. It should not be a law against prostitutes. It's also with drugs. If they want to use drugs, it's their body. They should not be a law against drugs. And the third thing is, of them using drugs. And the third thing would be, and this is out in left field, but it's not so over in Israel. Ladies will all be signed up for the draft. They will be just like all young men. They need to be signed up and be eligible for the draft at any point in time. I'll leave that be. It's a no-win situation. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy your show.
Hey, I appreciate the call, Frank. Thanks so much, man. Let's switch topics a bit. We're doing Agenda-Free Friday on a Wednesday as we head into the Thanksgiving vacation. And Sam has been holding for a minute. He has a comment on Russia, Ukraine. What's up, Sam? You're next on Super Talk.
Thank you for taking my call. It's a little bit of a nostalgia to me. I'm just driving through. I'm from East Tennessee heading to West Tennessee, so crossing the area. It's probably been, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 years since I talked to y'all. It was back when Michael Del Giorno and Phil Valentine were around on the station. So I'm kind of enjoying saying howdy one time.
Welcome back. What's going on, man?
Yeah, no problem. So I guess I want to cover two topics real quick. One on the abortion thing or the rape thing. And I think the actual phrase in the Bible, I remember part of this is in there, is, and she cries out. But like if somebody's attacking a woman and she resists, I think it's the rapist that dies biblically. You execute the rapist for attacking her.
Yep.
So just a little footnote right there. Now, I was going to talk about Israel and Ukraine both, and I was going to kind of, one of the things that's been going on is there's been some question whether United States weapons have been found in Hamas's hands. And I'm cursed with this memory. I remember when George Bush was president, Ariel Sharon was prime minister. Ariel Sharon oversaw the expulsion of Jews from Gaza. It actually used to be a net exporter of food. But after that happened, there was the civil war between Fatah and Hamas. And the United States took the side of Fatah and shipped them a bunch of weapons. Condoleezza Rice was the one overseeing this, right? But Hamas is originally out of Egypt, so they had, kind of territorial high ground, if you will, and they were able to intercept that shipment, and they used the U.S. weapons to defeat Fatah. And then when Israel got the war with Hezbollah later, Hamas popped up from the south, and so they were using U.S.-supplied weapons to fight Israel. Now, if that isn't just a handful of chaos and a couple of sentences right there, I don't know what is. But, it's U.S. foreign policy. Now, fast forward, and I'll peek over to Russian media. I was just curious what they were saying about some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Putin actually made a comment about U.S. weapons showing up in Israel, and his comment was this: if Ukraine will sell weapons to us, they will sell them to anybody. Now, just pause for 1 second and digest that statement for a minute. What is Ukraine doing selling U.S. supplied weapons to Russia? for crying out loud. And Kiev is just such a cesspool of corruption. They give D.C. a run for their money. There's all sorts of individual agendas going on over there, and who can sort it out? I never know. But I remember seeing this clip where there were some Ukrainian soldiers that were selling APCs to LPR, that's the Luhansk People's Republic rebels over there, and for both dollars and rubles. Talk about hedging your bets. You know, as to who's going to win the war.
Yeah.
And so I could see Russia buying weapons that we're giving Ukraine to, like, reverse engineer them and stuff like that. I mean, what on earth is U.S. foreign policy at this point, man? I mean, it's like, this is nuts. I mean, it's insane.
It's crazy, and we love funding both sides of the conflict.
Right?
We love that. We do that every single time.
Yemen?
Yeah.
We were literally fighting a proxy war against ourselves in Yemen at one point.
Oh, it's the craziest thing. Or we're arming ISIS to fight Syria, and you know it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When Obama was in, didn't we, while we were fighting ISIS in Syria? No. Yeah. We were funding them in Libya in order to bomb Gaddafi's regime while we were bombing them in Syria, right? Wasn't that what was going on also?
Yeah. And
we were helping them in Libya and fighting them in Syria.
And Gaddafi was on record saying, I am the wall between a scourge of migrants descending upon Europe. And if I'm removed, you'll see mass immigration into Europe. And nobody took his advice, and we've seen the fruits of that.
That's an awesome point. I want to take it and run with it if you got just a moment. Yeah. Gaddafi's a bad guy. I'm not a Gaddafi fan, but I will say this: the dude was smart, and he said some very intelligent things sometimes. Like, I remember one time there was this like OPEC summit, and they were like trying to get together and figure out how they could cooperate to make a nuclear weapon so that they could use it on Israel. And Gaddafi popped up, and he was the one naysayer. He didn't want to do that. And the reason he gave is he said, yes, we will use it on Israel as soon as we have it, but then as soon as they're defeated, we would use it on each other.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. Well, and Gaddafi was also on record talking about bio warfare and engineering germs, way ahead of his time, way before this stuff was mainstream and public information. He was talking about it. You know, I don't think Gaddafi's a good guy. I don't think Saddam Hussein was a good guy. But I think that both of those countries were probably in better shape with those dictators in charge than they are currently. Sometimes you need a strong monster in some of those countries. Democracy is not going to be for everyone.
Well, don't you find it ironic that after 40-something years, you know, Gaddafi had been the dictator down there, all the terrorist bombings, the Lockerbie bombings, all this crap, and he was still in power. And 6 months after he tries to have a gold-backed African currency, boom, he's gone. Don't you find that ironic?
A little weird, Sam. It's a little weird. a little weird. I don't know. I don't want to. I didn't bring enough tinfoil for everybody, but it's a little weird. Hey,
well, you have a good one. I appreciate you, man. It's been forever since I've called y'all.
Hey, I appreciate you listening, and safe travels as you're going through the motions, getting to holiday.
I'll probably hit Nashville here in about 10 minutes, most likely.
All right, brother. Well, we have a flamethrower of a stick, so you can listen to us all over the place, and also you know, when you're out of town, you can catch us on the TuneIn app, and we're also on YouTube for Super Talk TV. You can find us anywhere, Sam. So stick around with us, all right? Appreciate you. Appreciate you listening. It is 10:49 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're doing a bit of an agenda-free Friday here on a Wednesday because we're all going to be like Mac on Friday and not show up.
Give it a shot. It's really nice.
Is it nice?
Soothing, yeah.
I'm excited. I'm going full Mac. All right, anything you want to talk about? 615-737-9986. I see a couple of you guys on hold. We'll get to more of your calls next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hanford, Jeff Eddy's Efficient Heating and Cooling. The last thing you want to do is find yourself in a scenario over the holidays where your heater goes out and you got company coming to town. Well, if that happens, there's only one guy that you need to know to call. Jeff Eddy with Efficient Heating and Cooling, because it can be so hard to find somebody you trust when it comes to these large home repairs, including heating and cooling. And if you find yourself in a bind where you need to get it fixed and you need to get it fixed quick, you got to have somebody you trust. Well, I trust Jeff and his crew to do what's right, and they prove it time and time again. If you're trying to make that decision to repair or replace your system, even if you've already had somebody come look at your system and they say, nope, you got to replace the whole unit, call Jeff and his crew to walk you through every option scenario so that way you can make an informed decision. The other guys, they're going to pressure you to replace the system because they make more money that way. Jeff and his crew, if they can get you through and buy another year or two on the life of your unit by just replacing a part, they're happy to do that for you as well. And if you do need to replace the unit, well, Efficient can help you with that too. They offer up to 18 months, same as cash financing on your next unit. They're a diamond contractor with Mitsubishi Electric and an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. All you need to do is go to efficienthvac.net or call 615-784-4424.
Armored truck robbery and police shoot the robber. We'll tell you about it at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It's 10:57 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. It's an agenda-free Friday. We can talk about anything that you want to talk about today because, you know, we're pulling a Mac. We're not going to be here Friday. So we're doing Agenda-Free Friday on a Wednesday as we lead into Thanksgiving. I got a text here from 3861. Said, regarding the Nashville Rescue Mission, we know the dollar amount donated. It was, what was it, $240-something thousand.
Yep.
Unbelievable what you guys came together to do with us for the Nashville Rescue Mission. They said, we know the dollar amount donated, but how many individuals donated? Good question. Best I can do is hit you with the Mike Pence. That's the best I can do. I don't know. Those phones were ringing like crazy. And we, right at the end, when we were going to beat the record, we had one guy, Robert in Hendersonville, donate $15,000.
Gosh, that's incredible.
I mean,
it's amazing.
Listen, whatever you can do in your life, it's like you should do. I know not everybody's going to be able to donate $15,000.
No.
But like you should always try and live with a charitable heart. I'll be honest, I have 4 kids. I have no business donating $15,000. But I try to do things charitably. Like when we got a new washer dryer, we tried to sell it. And there was a veteran that needed one. And he was going to buy it off of us, and we just gave him the washer dryer.
Love it.
Like everybody can do something a little. And I think that as we go into Thanksgiving, it's important to think about what you can do in your community to make an impact. Everybody can make an impact. And again, thank you to everybody that helped us make an impact with the Nashville Rescue Mission. I mean, huge dollar amounts, huge. And it is a credit to this audience. I said it yesterday. I had done a radiothon back in Richmond. I think this was like 2013. We did it for a children's hospital. We did it over 3 days. We raised $140,000, and that was like I'm not knocking it. That was a big victory. We celebrated that victory, and it was a win. But in a third of the time, the WTN audience came together and donated double that amount. And it's a credit to you. It's a credit to this station. And we thank you for that. As we head into Thanksgiving, just know if you did donate to the Nashville Rescue Mission, the difference that you made, we are truly, truly appreciative of you. And as we head into Thanksgiving, the phone lines are open for you. Let's talk about anything you want to talk about. 615-737-9986. We're coming up on the news. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, turkey with the girls and a turkey with the boys. My favorite kind of pants are corduroys. Gobble, gobble, gee, and a gobble, gobble, giggle. I wish turkey could only cost a nickel. Oh, I love turkey on Thanksgiving.
News to me.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast in 2 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, TBI is investigating after a robber was shot by police in Murfreesboro. Police have not released the condition of the robber. Authorities say the robber held up an armored truck at an ATM on North Thompson Lane, then ran into a nearby Jason's Deli. An officer shot the robber. None of the employees in Jason's Deli were hurt. Police did not say what the condition the robber was in after the shooting. Israel-Hamas war update.
President Biden welcomed the news of a deal to secure the release of hostages held by Hamas and thanked the leaders of Qatar and Egypt for what he called their, quote, critical leadership and partnership in reaching the agreement. The president in a statement said he appreciates the commitment of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government in supporting an extended pause in strikes to ensure the deal can be fully carried out. President Biden said with this agreement, additional American hostages should be coming home. The administration expects that to be 3 Americans. civilians, including a 3-year-old girl whose parents were killed in the October 7th attacks.
As Karen Travers reporting, passion surrounding the war now prompting tighter security of big holiday events. And here in Nashville, Metro Police announcing what they call an enhanced visible presence in support of retailers and protecting the public. They're going to be on foot, in cars, on horseback, and in the air looking for suspicious activity, especially around places like Tanger Outlets, Nashville West Shopping Center, Opry Mills Mall, and Green Hills Mall. Black Friday deals have already been out there online. If you're someone who likes to go to stores in person, however, Sherry Preston has some hours for popular retailers on the day after Thanksgiving.
A lot more stores have opted to let their employees have Thanksgiving off again this year. They'll be closed on Thursday. Doesn't mean, however, they won't expect those same workers back bright and early on Black Friday. Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Macy's, Home Depot, Lowe's, and Dick's Sporting Goods all plan on opening their doors at 6 a.m. Kohl's says it'll open even earlier at 5 a.m. Some of those stores will also stay open until 10 or 11 Friday night.
That is the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's going on? It's Chris Hand for my good friend Jan Whitfield. Jan is the best. She will hook up you and your employees with dental and vision plans that are fantastic. Some of the most valuable dental and vision plans in the state. Everybody uses these dental and vision plans, and Jan can get you them so quickly. Now, if you own a small business, if you own a salon, if you're a landscaper, if you own a daycare, maybe if you own a moving company, any small business really, and you're having problems retaining your employees like so many small businesses are, maybe a dental and vision plan is what's going to set you apart from the competition stealing your employees away. It's super easy, and it's a small way to say thank you to your employees and make them feel valued and appreciated. Now, it literally takes 15 minutes. A phone call with Jan Whitfield will get you on track to having a dental and vision plan for your company and your employees. And it's super super affordable. There's no enrollment fee, and it's priced at about $27 to $39 a month, depending on what benefits you're looking for, what your employees are looking for, and how many employees you have enrolled in the plan. Plus, you can add spouses, you can add dependents, and more if the group is more than 10 people. All you need to do is call Jan Whitfield. Dental Plans with Jan, 615-974-9655, online at dentalplanswithjan.com. Call 615-974-9655. $11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Heading into the holiday weekend, I hope that you are having a fantastic day. If you're traveling, I'm sorry. I know it's going to be a tough day of travel all over the country. Here's my best tip: if you're heading to BNA and that exit's all backed up, and you're coming away from the city, that's 24 West, right? You know, you're heading out of the city, towards the airport.
Yep.
You see it all backed up. I'm only going to give you this tip one time, because this is my tip. You just skip that exit, go to the next one. That's it.
Wow.
You can get around all that traffic.
Need you in the traffic center with Womack.
Listen, I learned these things from Womack. Womack, he's sneaky on his tips, but that's a Womack exclusive. We're doing an agenda-free Friday today. It's Wednesday before the holiday, so we want to talk about anything you want to talk about. Mark wants to talk about the Covenant Manifesto. You're next on Super Talk, Mark. What's going on?
Hey, how are you? Good program today.
Thank you, sir. What's up?
Just wanted to say, I most of my television news is conservative.
Okay.
And the things I read are conservative sources, but even with those sources, I've been screaming at the TV for a long time. If one thing had changed about the Coventry shooters, tragic and awful as that was, the manifesto would have been released within 24 hours of finding it. That is, if the shooter had been a sovereign citizen, KKK member, some extremist on the far right side, you might say, or even a member of any, let's say, typical normal type conservative group, within 24 hours of finding that thing, it would have been released.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It doesn't fit the narrative. And the blue people in Nashville in control of everything are just not wanting to release it. But this is as important as any manifesto of anyone who did anything terrible. We can learn from it. But for crying out loud, no, we can't do that. And I don't know why even the conservative news sources can't grasp that.
No, you're absolutely right. I think it's one of those things. It's an uncomfortable reality. But I appreciate the call, Mark. But you see that the liberal media will cover for their own, and then will immediately, if it goes with the narrative of racist white people and domestic terrorists, they'll immediately blast it out there. And you can look at the Covenant shooting. You can look at what happened at the Waukesha Christmas parade, where the guy plowed his SUV into the crowd to take people out at the Christmas parade. Well, he was an African-American gentleman, and the headlines it went on to say, SUV plows into crowd. It was the SUV. It wasn't an evil person who he wasn't a domestic terrorist white nationalist. So we can't talk about that. Just like we can't talk about the anti-white hatred from the shooter at the Covenant School. It's crazy. And it really boils down to the fact that these kids are being bombarded and indoctrinated with this ideology that is so dangerous. So dangerous. There's a doctor in Louisville who is providing gender-affirming care, as he says, to pretty much all ages. My youngest patient is 7 years old. This is in Louisville. This is right up the street. This is from Post Millennial. Gender-affirming doctor in Louisville, Kentucky, has admitted his youngest trans patient is only 7 years old. That should be criminal. Criminal. You should not be able to do that to kids. Isn't like the first thing about the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm? And a gender-affirming doctor in Louisville, Kentucky is admitting his youngest patient is 7 years old. This isn't a talk that he gave to health professionals on the basics of gender-affirming care for health professionals. The man's name is Dr. Adam Neff. He's in Louisville. He said, I provide gender-affirming care to pretty much all ages. My youngest patient being around 7 years of age, all the way up to people in their 40s and 50s. Like he deserves a badge of honor for ruining a 7-year-old's future. Like we should celebrate him for being so brave that he would be willing to basically sterilize a 7-year-old. It's the craziest thing. He says that this 7-year-old patient is socially transitioning. And he described what a social transition looks like. He says, this can be a variety of different things depending on where they are on their own pubertal process. Prepubertal kids are going to be growing their hair longer or growing it shorter, using different ways to express their gender via clothing. It's chaos. It's chaos. And they're pushing it on kids at all levels. You see it everywhere. You see it in Target. Target has their Christmas decorations out now, and they have a nutcracker holding a pride trans flag. Crazy. Who's buying that? But this doctor in Louisville who's transitioning kids is board certified in internal medicine and pediatrics with Baptist Health in Louisville. Focusing on pediatrics. Nice. He says that when he treats kids with gender dysphoria, fertility options must be discussed. Yep. Crazy. Let's go to Joshua on line 1. Joshua, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. No, I just want to make a quick point, and I'll get off. It's you're talking about this doctor out in Louisville is doing the gender affirming stuff, like badge of honor. And it wasn't too long ago that doctors were lobotomizing pretty much healthy people for now what we know as benign mental conditions, disorders, whatever they want to look at. And hopefully we get to the point where we realize what harm we're doing, and in the sense of hoping to help, and they kind of figure their heads out of their ass. But anyway,
I mean, I hope that we can figure it out, and I appreciate the call, Josh. Thanks so much. I hope we can figure it out, but I fear that it's going to be 5-10 years from now we're going to see those ads on the TV. Did you or someone you know visit a doctor pushing gender affirming care? Have you or someone you know been harmed by a doctor pushing gender affirming care? That's what we're going to see.
7333 says that 7-year-old parents needs their butts kicked.
Yeah, amen. Where are the parents in that? Although, when Chloe Cole is she's a detransitioner. She says, her parents were manipulated just as much as she was. She says that the gender affirming doctors in her case said, do you want a daughter who is transitioning to a boy, or do you want a daughter that's dead? Because if you don't transition her, she's going to commit suicide. So a lot of these parents, and while we can blame the parents, they are just as manipulated, just as gaslighted as these poor kids are. This is. Also, I had a super texter say, I said I-24, not I-40, whatever. Talking about my airport.
I'm talking about the airport.
Well, I didn't want to give the tip out. I was very reluctant.
Great traffic guy.
I didn't learn everything from Jeff Womack. But these parents are just as manipulated as kids. They are. This doctor in Louisville, he says you have to talk about fertility options. It's harder to know if you're talking to a younger kid. They're 10, 11, 12, what that might look like. But that should be kind of brought up. Yeah, you're sterilizing these kids. These doctors that push this gender affirming care on kids should have their licenses revoked. Quickly. I saw a tweet earlier today, and it was what did it say? It was oh my gosh, this thing is so funny. It's from the account End Wokeness. You ever see that Twitter account?
Oh yeah.
All right, so it's a trans flag, and it said trans liberation can't happen without Palestinian liberation. Oh my gosh. What does that even mean? What about the mental gymnastics of these people? Insane. These people are insane. Let's go to Thomas in Lebanon. You have a comment on transitioning. Thomas, you're next on Super Talk. What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, man. So the way I see it, it's a two-pronged issue. First, you were saying that the parents are, taken advantage of or, manipulated just as much as the children are. Instead of embracing it like we do in society and, we should be treating it as a mental illness because that's what it is. But instead, we go along and I would call it a game because there's no science behind it. It's all just, it's a game, right? And we go along with it and we embrace it and we enable it. And I'll hang up after the second part so I can listen to your response. But the second issue, or the second prong to the whole thing is that if God intended, and I don't know, I don't want to bring faith too far into it because I know some people might not be Christian, but if God intended for things to be that way, then there would not be that much chaos. There would not be suicide associated with it. There would not. It's completely out of the realm of what God intended, and that is the second issue. So I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's not really. I think this is spiritual warfare in the simplest way. I got a text here from 3765. So it's not a mental illness; it's demonic influence, and I tend to agree with that. I tend to agree with the fact that there's no reason that you should take a healthy, perfect child and change their anatomy. That there's no reason to take a perfectly healthy child and sterilize them under any circumstances. It goes against the Hippocratic Oath. Do no harm. First, do no harm. Well, they skipped that step because you're absolutely harming those kids. There's no way around it. And we're going to see those ads. 5, 10 years, maybe even sooner. Have you or someone you know been harmed by a gender-affirming care doctor? That's coming. Get ready for that. We're gonna see those ads, and we're gonna see the ones. Have you or someone you know been harmed by a vaccine? Those are the ads we're gonna see. En masse. It's gonna be like, did you or someone you know drink the water at Camp Lejeune? We're gonna replace those ads with, did you or someone you know receive bad advice from a doctor providing gender-affirming care?
Were you a child that may have been sniffed by Joe Biden?
Yeah. We're going to see those, too. 81 million votes, though. He's the most popular president ever, so. It's 11:20 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. As we head into the Thanksgiving holiday, I hope that you and your family have a blessed day. I hope that your travels are safe, and anything you want to talk about, we can talk about. 615-737-9986. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Got a crash 40 eastbound just past South Hartman Drive in Lebanon. The left lane is blocked. And Borough Police just gave an update on the deadly officer-involved shooting this morning. We'll give you some details coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. Looking forward to that update. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We talked yesterday about the Pentagon's request for $114 million for diversity initiatives. Do you remember that? $114 million? Whew. Borders wide open. Let's get $114 million quickly for diversity initiatives. I'd rather give the money to Ukraine, actually. Where's Vlad? Call Zelensky. Can we give it to him instead? I feel like that's a better use of $114 million than diversity initiatives at the Pentagon.
Just give him a minute. He's got to find his one green sweatsuit. So
yeah, he's got to get his green shirt on. Oh, what am I going to wear today? I'll go with green. But now Marjorie Taylor Greene is lambasting the administration and the Pentagon for requesting that money. She posted on Twitter, "The Pentagon has no idea where the hell that all the taxpayer money that has been funding it went for the past 6 years, but they have the audacity to ask for more funding for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs." Well, I will point out it was DEIA programs. They added the A now. So there was a portion of that $114 million for accessibility. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion, and accessibility now. It's not just the alphabet mafia that adds to the acronyms. You know what I mean? The diversity guys are doing it too. Marjorie Taylor Greene says, "Does Joe Biden want the military to be a lethal fighting force or a clown show?" Thank you, Nancy. I mean, I think Joe Biden wants it to be a ridiculous clown show. I think she answered her own question. There's some rule. I can't remember the rule off the top of my head, but it's like if a headline starts with a question, then it's usually like, yes, that's
yes.
true.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's also like 101. Don't do that.
Yeah. Does Joe Biden want this to be a clown show? Yes. Yes. Probably. Thank you for the bingo. Marjorie Taylor Greene blasts that. But, this is all coming from Fox News. The Department of Defense wrote in its strategic management plan for the fiscal years 22 to 26 that the fiscal year 2024 president's budget request demonstrates the DoD's commitment to DEIA and includes $114.7 million for dedicated diversity and inclusion activities. I don't think the activities are going to be a three-legged race at a picnic. I don't think there's going to be any fun activities. It's going to be webinars and training to tell you how evil white people are. The funding across the military departments, OSD, Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute is investing in programs and initiatives aimed at furthering DEIA and incorporating DEIA values, objectives, and considerations in how we do business and execute our missions. There was a libertarian that was elected, Javier Milei in Argentina, and it's amazing because this guy went down the list and says, these are the kind of departments, the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, or the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute. These are the type of things that he's going to cut funding from in his new government, and I feel like we need to get on that path here. We need to cut funding from all of these wasteful departments. Why are we funding the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute? Name one good thing the Defense Equal Opportunity Management Institute has done. Okay, that's a long list. It's a long list. They say ultimately recruiting and retaining a force with diverse backgrounds, thought, experience, expertise, and education enhances DoD's global joint warfighter capabilities, fundamental to all DoD activities. Oh, yes. As you head into Thanksgiving, don't you forget, diversity is our strength, and we will print money to make diversity flourish. The Pentagon failed its 6th annual audit in a row and has just passed 7 of 29 sub-audits in 2023. Auditors found that around half of the Department of Defense's claimed assets could not be accounted for. So, all right, let's just throw more money at them. Let's give them more money. According to The Hill, Lloyd Austin said he feels we need to be doing better at this and moving faster, but added that a successful audit is still years away. So they don't know what they're doing with the money. They just know that they need more. That's your government on Democrats. It's 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ken Weaver with the headlines.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got a crash blocking the left lane of 40 eastbound in Lebanon. It's just past South Hartman Drive. Full forecast in 2 minutes. Murfreesboro police say the armed robbery suspect shot by an officer this morning has died. Spokesman Larry Flowers says it happened inside the Jason's Deli on North Thompson Lane.
After many commands, repeated commands, our officer had to discharge his service weapon.
Police say none of the employees in the deli were hurt. Israel-Hamas war update. A prisoner swap could start as soon as tomorrow, and the White House claims it will include some of the Americans which Hamas took in the terrorist attack on October 7th. And in Money News, here's Jim Ryan.
Despite a strong start for online sales driven by discounts, retailers anticipate a lackluster holiday shopping season. Companies like Best Buy, Kohl's, and Lowe's have all recently cut their sales forecast for the year.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
11:35 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We were talking about the Department of Defense requesting $114 million for diversity programs. So we got it. Diversity is our strength. We need more. 9662 texted in and said, the VA already has a large, he put it all caps, so that's why I said it like that, large diversity program and needs no more. We need to support our active duty and veteran military members instead of paying people to make our military weak. And to that I say, amen. Got a text here from 1349. He said, the DOD, the crackhead relative to the rest of the government family. Don't give crackheads a bad name.
Yeah, for real.
Like, come on. Oh, my gosh. 0930 says, great. More death by PowerPoint that I have to force down my soldiers' throats. I assume you are active duty, sir. 0930. And I say thank you for your service. And I'm sorry about the death by PowerPoint. All this diversity, and yet Joe Biden can't recover the black vote that he's losing. He's losing support among black Americans. Democrat Rep Jamal Bowman, who famously pulled the fire extinguisher, you know, that guy, he says he has an idea. He has an idea why Joe Biden is losing support among black Americans. I don't know, maybe this is it. This is why he thinks Joe Biden is losing that support.
People of color have been turned off for a while because of lack of comprehensive immigration reform, if you're talking about the Latino community, and no conversation at all about reparations if you're talking about the black community. But we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars every year on weapons and war, but we can't even have a conversation about reparations?
Oh, that's why. It's reparations. I mean, I played a story earlier today about how illegal aliens are taking the free turkeys from lower income residents in New York City. But that couldn't be why Joe Biden is losing support among the African American community in New York and Chicago. No,
of course not.
It's the lack of a conversation about reparations.
That's it.
We got a bingo, so that means that's it. It's unreal. This is where we're at. Oh, it's the lack of reparations. Pay no attention. Pay no attention to the secret work that they're doing in Chicago to build a illegal migrant camp on Chicago's south side.
Yes, I heard they were out until 1 o'clock in the morning.
But it's progress that on Sunday, crews were quick to cover up, just minutes after we got there. First, a water department truck was positioned directly in front of our Fox 32 camera, seemingly trying to obstruct our view. But that's not all. Workers soon lined the fence with a black screen.
As a taxpayer, it makes me feel horrible. I feel that we have a corrupt system. They are not listening to the people.
That was an African-American voter who doesn't sound like she has much faith in Joe Biden and his system. She didn't mention reparations. She talked about the fact that they're building a giant encampment for illegal migrants on the south side of Chicago. Weird. Maybe they put the tarp up because they were talking about reparations behind the tarp. Maybe they are having those conversations. Maybe it's the fact that this Biden administration gaslights us and they brag that prices are coming down when we all look around and know that that's just not true. Top Biden advisor Jared Bernstein bragged about deflation in airfare, car rentals, and eggs.
I think in areas where prices went up, really a great deal and were highly elevated, there you want to see prices come down, not just disinflation, but deflation. So let me hit you with a few numbers. So airline tickets down 13% over the past year, car rentals 10%, eggs 22%. Thanksgiving dinner, to be a bit topical, down 4.5%, with turkey down about 6%. That's deflation. That is lower prices in those areas.
Okay, so, I mean, he focuses on 1 year, but I mean, since Biden took office, the airfare is up 21%. Car rentals up 17%. Eggs, 21%. Thanksgiving dinner is going to cost you 25% more this year, and that turkey is up 31.5%. I wish turkey could cost a nickel, but it doesn't in Joe Biden's economy. But they brag, they gaslight that they're doing so good. Every American who goes to a store knows that inflation is still crazy. And it's hurting poor Americans first. But Jamal Bowman says Joe Biden's losing the black vote because he won't have the conversation about reparations. I mean, listen, in fairness, it's hard for Joe Biden to talk about reparations when he's heading off to Nantucket to vacation over Thanksgiving at a $34 million compound. He hasn't had a lot of time in between all of his scandals and new wars and spending 405 days, about 39% of his presidency on vacation. I don't know how much time he had to talk about reparations. You know, he's on vacation a lot. But it's crazy. And they say, "Oh, there's no talk of reparations. That's why we're losing black voters." Has nothing to do with the in-store prices.
Many other Thanksgiving staples are more expensive again this year. Canned cranberries will cost 60% more. Canned pumpkin prices have spiked 30%, and russet potatoes are up 14%.
Don't worry about that. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. Prices are fine. In fact, they're coming down. It's getting better. It's getting better. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Come on. It's working.
It's working. 8212 texting. He said, the rate that at which inflation is climbing slowed. That's now deflation. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you're going, if you're going up a roller coaster, the right when you're about to hit the top, you're deflating.
Yeah, that's technically true.
That's true.
That's when we all start screaming too.
Yep. 0308 texted and said, "Good news. The weather on Nantucket is terrible today." So, all right, that is good news. So,
yeah, that makes me happy.
As Joe Biden is spending another day, 39% of his presidency has been on vacation this year. At least we can take solace in the fact that he's not having a good weather day on Nantucket. What's the weather on Nantucket, Mac? Fact check that. Got to fact check Joe Biden's forecast.
It's going to be rainy and cloudy today and tomorrow, and right now it's 54 degrees.
I want it to be colder and wetter. I demand worse weather for Nantucket.
It will be cooler this weekend. I don't know how long residents planning on staying.
I think he'll stay as long as they'll have him. I mean, he doesn't have anything going on at the job, right?
No. He's not busy.
No, definitely not. Jason texted and he said, "Have we looked in the pudding for reparations?" No, that we have not looked in.
The proof is there.
The proof is in the pudding on what Joe Biden's doing. If you've been paying attention to anything cringe John Pierre says. So maybe we'll check the pudding. That's a good text, Jason. Bill texted in. He said, "I could be wrong. I've not heard the first Native American ask for reparations." Interesting. I have not heard that either. 1833. Said Triscuits were $2.98. Went to $4.25. Now $3.98. That's deflation. You're still paying more than you used to, but we're selling it like a benefit.
I think a medium fry at McDonald's is like $4.
My gosh, you have to be like...
It's crazy.
Dude.
Nuts.
Who can afford to go to McDonald's anymore?
That's crazy.
It's like, I got 4 kids. Like, after you get through Happy Meals and everything, it's like, you're looking at like $40, $50 for McDonald's.
Gosh.
Like, no.
No. Yeah, there's not really dollar menus. It's value menus now, or like value meal.
Dude, I remember the dollar menu when everything was really $1.
Yeah, $1.
Yeah.
It's great.
Weird.
It's the best. Yeah, weird.
Weird. I mean, you could get a cheeseburger for $1 and a teeny beanie.
Teeny beanie?
Yeah. You don't remember the teeny beanie babies?
Oh, yes. I do remember that.
It was a simpler time in the 90s.
Ah, nice.
Mike wants to know if inflation affects the price of votes. I think so. They're going to cost more this year. 3581 said, hell, we can't afford the pudding to look. That's fair. Oh, so everybody's just texting in-store prices now. 0764. Doritos are $5.19 a bag.
And half the bag's air. That's nuts.
Yeah. Gotta have that shelf space.
Yeah, and 6347, when Taco Bell's expensive, the economy's trash. LOL. Taco Bell's very expensive right now, by the way.
You basically have to be a connoisseur and an elite level individual to afford Taco Bell in Joe Biden's economy.
No, it's like caviar cavuto is going to Taco Bell. I can't
yes,
go.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Cheesy gordita crunch, yes.
It's crazy. Yeah. Could you imagine him eating Neil Cavuto eating a cheesy gordita crunch?
No,
I don't know why, but that feels like what he would order. Doesn't that feel like what he would order?
It's like the nicest thing they have. You know?
Yeah.
39.59. I can't even afford to pay attention.
You're not missing much, 39.59.
That's great.
I promise you.
That's awesome.
Coffee is more for 12 ounces than it used to be for 16, says 76.75.
Easily.
Oh my gosh, coffee
Easily.
is nuts. I go through a lot of coffee. 20-ounce sodas are $2.50 now, says 1265. I remember when I was mad that they went from $1 to $1.25.
Yeah, you used to be able to get 2 for $2, I think. Now it's 1 for 2. Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's some good ones in here that I can't read.
I know. We need this podcast studio to be fixed so we can do an uncensored super text podcast. That's our New Year's resolution. Come the new year.
100%.
We're going to be doing an uncensored super text podcast because you guys are fantastic on the super text line. A lot of people are saying they're so broke they can't pay attention. I apologize for that. I feel like that's partly our fault. Mostly Max. 3982 said last night KFC 16 pieces of chicken, no sides, no biscuits, $41.
Whoa.
My gosh. I don't even want to ask what the turkey at Popeyes is going to cost you. It's 11:48. We're heading into the holiday weekend. Matt Murphy's going to be checking in with us next. Let us know what we can expect on Murphy Show right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 11:55, the day before Thanksgiving. It's the Chris Hand Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joined in studio by the one and only Matt Murphy. And Matt.
Hello. Turn on your
Mac
microphone,
Morey has provided us a Thanksgiving treat.
Sustenance. I like it.
All right, what did you bring, Mac? What is this?
Well, we were talking about Funyuns the other day. You and I were, Chris, and we learned from Super Texters that there's more than one flavor of Funyuns.
Of course there is.
I didn't know this. There's Flamin' Hot and Spicy Queso. Was unable to get the Spicy Queso, but I have brought us Flamin' Hot Funyuns for today.
And you are firmly entrenched in the pro Funyun camp.
Love Funyuns. That's why I was shocked I didn't know there were more flavors.
I love a Funyun.
Do you really?
I mean, it's a guilty pleasure, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm like,
they put the fun in onion.
I don't do.
I don't know.
I don't like Funyuns.
This will be tough for you then.
So I don't like Funyuns at all. But I felt like we needed to do something, and it's a little fun. It's a little frivolous, but we have been provided with a spicy hot Funyun from Mac Morey.
All right.
And are we all going to do this together at the same time?
I'm ready.
Sure,
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Eating on the radio.
Nothing
I love
better
it.
than
I love
chewing
it.
on the radio.
Nothing better. People love this. It's their favorite. This is our gift to you on this Thanksgiving week.
Spicy hot Funyun. Terrible.
Oh, man. Come on. That's great. That's America.
You will not like this if you don't like Funyuns. Because it's got all that delicious Funyun flavor, but with a little kick.
A little heat.
I like that. That's good.
Isn't that
Maury.
good?
Yeah, it's good.
I'm going to get
That's
the
tasty.
spicy queso next, so just you wait, Chris. We've got more to come.
Yeah, Mac Morey's going to get a pot belly in his middle age. I can already tell. Can't he tell if he's eating Funyuns? Because this Mac. Look at my eyes. Look at Super Dog. This is what happens when you eat like that when you become 50. Okay? I'm just telling you.
What do you got going on for Thanksgiving, man? You got anything fun happening?
I'm traveling, as we discussed earlier in the week, although I'm on the roads. The big debate for me is when to leave. The wife has already gone to the in-laws. That's in Montgomery, Alabama. Okay. And so I have about a 5-hour trip tonight with the big boy, the big dog. John Henry and I have been batching it, if you will.
All right.
She took the smaller two. So I'll hit the road at some point this evening.
And it was John Henry's birthday this week, right?
Man, he's 13.
Happy birthday
big
to the
boy's
old
13.
man.
Oh, man.
That's a good boy. Nice.
Yeah, he's a good boy. So we'll hit the road, and we'll do a little bit of that. It is an annual tradition for my father-in-law and I to play golf on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's cool.
So we'll do that, although he's got a shoulder issue. And I called him up and I said, hey, are we still doing this? You've got the shoulder thing. And he goes, well, I can't play golf, but I can drive a golf cart and drink Bloody Marys. I was like, well, okay. All right. Well, I'm down for that.
So are you guys just going to drive around the golf course and drink Bloody Marys, or are you going to golf?
I will golf.
Okay.
I will golf, and he will not. He said he might be able to putt a little bit. So
all right.
He's getting his shoulder back in shape. So we'll do that, and then some football over the weekend. And
very fun.
What about you?
Fun.
You got? I heard you say your sister's coming in.
Yeah, my sister's coming in. Her husband, their 3 kids. They're going to come in. They're going to do a sleepover tomorrow night. Go get Christmas trees Friday. Do the whole thing. They're coming up from Huntsville.
I admit, I'm going to talk about this on the show today because every family's different, and that's one of the things that makes America the greatest country on God's green earth, right? We all have little differences and subtle differences in our traditions and what we do. And I know you probably won't feel this way the next couple of days, but I'm envious of that big, huge family atmosphere.
Yeah, we already, me and my wife were like, listen, it's going to be chaos.
Embrace it.
We have to embrace the chaos. You know what I mean? And just
I love it.
Rules are going to be out the window.
I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful you're here. And I want you to know that.
I love you guys. I love being here. I love being a part of this station. I'm thankful for you as well, sir.
Well, thank you. God bless you. I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not like Joe Biden. I'm not taking an extended vacation.
Hey, turkeys of the year coming up next on the Murphy Show. We got a big rundown. Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla's coming up.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
It's a Thanksgiving miracle. Hang out with us. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.